You got me in a corner. You got me against the wall. I got nowhere to go. I got nowhere to fall. Take back your insurance. Greetings, friends. I hope you're doing well. I am doing quite okay. Enjoying the sunshine, the pool, and pretty much the normal everyday types of stuffs. Finally have James True books on the way after listening to him for over a year, and quite looking forward to that. And also, I guess on that note, I wanted to say how I enjoy the way he causes our minds to be open and kind of see the construct that we're in. There are almost certainly some things that I might disagree on, but like on this recent issue or topic of Masons maybe not being quite as bad as they've been made out to be, there again, I'm not necessarily signing off that I agree with that, but I appreciate having the additional real estate in my mind over the fact that, you know, so many things are presented as black and white. And I mean, it's not even so much that I'm talking about, you know, again, the Mason issue, as it is just the way he regularly causes me to look at things in another way. And like, for instance, ones that come to mind are ego and like with this, the gay thing being, you know, the Gay Pride Month or whatever being about, you know, people want to forget and deny that's talking about sodomy at its you know, most essence kind of level. But anyway, have you ever known these people at work or in your other associations where it's like they have a topic that they're preoccupied with, and they just always seem to have the latest information or some interesting thing to share about it? There's this one woman at a manager at work who her thing is death, and one day she was describing to people this one employee at one of the businesses that's just like the one we're in, and when they finally said, "Yeah, I think I know who you're talking about," she goes, "Well, he's dead." And it's like, so then I told you one time about this woman, this Asian woman whose name is Moon, who used to work there until she couldn't anymore from chemotherapy. And I wanted to let her know about what sounds like a kooky remedy, which is the stuff you use for worming a dog. But I'm almost sure that it's not kooky. It's probably true. I mean, cancer is not what it's like portrayed to be either. But anyway, her news last time I saw her was that lady had died, and I almost want to say to her, be patient. We'll get there one day. Okay, now granted, this next part has to do with weed, which kind of explains it in a way, but still, somebody gives you their number and then they don't ever return a text or call. And and the only reason I was fooling with this person about weed in the first place was that I finally found some in this area that's what's known to me in my part of the country as mid-grade. And what that means here is that it's a quality without seeds, and it has a great buzz, and it lasts for what you would expect a buzz to last for, whereas the other stuff, sometimes called loud, that's more expensive, is the buzz goes away too fast. And so that's why I was interested in this stuff. But anyway, the guy said he was going to do such and such, and so I called and texted when he didn't show up, and did that several times, and he still didn't respond. So when I saw him the next time at work, I'm like, well, why don't you return, pick up the phone or return the call? He said, "Oh, I went to Conway." Wrong answer, asshole. That's what the purpose of the phone is, to let somebody know when something came up, or, answer their question. It's not to tell them later what happened. And but just the way some people's minds work with when it comes to logic is it's crazy. On to the topic of the new normal. That is a phrase that I remember Candy Crowley, I think, first on CNN talking about it. And here is Tucker from 2 years ago.
Charged with homicide has been released and is out on the streets tonight because politicians in Denver have decided that keeping our country's borders open is a higher priority than protecting our citizens. Police say that Ivan Zamaripa Castaneda killed a truck driver in a hit and run. Federal law enforcement wanted him held in custody, but thanks to Denver's sanctuary city policies, authorities there refused. They did not.
And let's see if we want to look at any of the things on here from us. Here's another new normal from 2 years ago.
I am proud of us. Woo! What we're trying to do here, I tell you.
What is it exactly we trying to do? Because I keep forgetting.
Well, be a family, for better or worse. Adapt to our circumstance. Everyone says that they put their kids first.
So, let's see if they use the phrase in this.
Around 8:45 a.m., a chilled morning in New York City, partly cloudy. In Boston, American Airlines Flight 11, bound for Los Angeles, has been hijacked. Then a news bulletin.
I hear other truthers still talking about this event as with the planes, as if the planes were really a part of it, and there were no planes. That's the whole part of the psyop. There's other people who have gone into depth on that you can find to make that case.
Airplane flying due south has crashed into the upper level of the North Tower of the World Trade Centers, 9:03 a.m., a surreal event unlike anything in the history of the broadcast media. Countless viewers are watching live when suddenly an airplane is seen flying in an easterly direction. The plane swings around the southern end of the second World Trade Tower and explodes on impact, 9:30 a.m. President Bush at an elementary school in Sarasota, Florida, goes on television live.
So this, anyway, we're in at least the third new normal since 9/11. So this should be the new normal 3.0 or something. During this ordeal, we've already had messages from everybody you can imagine in business, as I'm sure you've seen immediately, talking about the C word. Just the short list I came up with for myself is there's been messages from the cell phone company, from the CVS on the prescription, from Uber, from Lyft, which I'll follow up with in a second. My homeowners administration has had at least 4 or 5 emails since this thing started about whatever to do with the pool and their business office hours. The doctor's office has weighed in about it. And of course, these idiot businesses like Walgreens with a sign talking about their workers being heroes, Walmart, and all the stuff that we probably have to deal with on our jobs. But the Walgreens here has had a thing on their sign about, the workers being heroes. And that is it's just so twisted the way such a orchestrated thing is then made into people being like martyrs and stuff just because they have to earn a living. I'm going to show you now an email that I had from Lyft. Oh, but before I talk about that, the other thing that happened after 9/11 was the ticker on the bottom of the news channels and sometimes other places. And once it came on the screen, it never left again. I haven't heard too many people ever mention that. And so now it's bad enough that we had to have all these places weigh in on the C word, but now I'm having all these places weigh in today on this. We want to take a moment to speak candidly about the tragedy that is enveloping our country right now. To our Black community members, we recognize your pain and feelings of fatigue over the injustices you face every day. The color of your skin should not impact how you are treated. Acts of injustice against Black Americans, including George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Christian Cooper, and countless others, have created an inflection point. This is a call to action for each and every one of us to do better, to speak up, and to be part of the solution. Systematic racism is deeply rooted in our society, and it's important that LIFT support organizations that fight it. As part of our continued commitment to communities of color through Lift Up, our transportation access initiative, we're providing $500,000 in ride credit to national civil rights organizations who have been working to facilitate essential transportation and equitable access during the recent crisis. National Urban League, NAACP, National Action Network, Black Women's Roundtable, and National Bail Fund Network. In Minneapolis specifically, we will be donating Lyft ride credit to Lake Street Council to facilitate rides to volunteers assisting with rebuilding efforts. We care deeply about your safety and the safety of drivers and want to make sure we're not putting anyone in harm's way. If you plan to ride, please check your local news before you head out. You hear some people saying a lot of what I would say pie in the sky stuff, positivity about what's going on in Trump. But, martial law by any other name is still martial law. So, yeah, we'll talk to you soon.